am currently in New York City, but I also have to finish my thesis. So this video is going to be kind of just me working on the thesis and trying my best to do as much as possible while also sightseeing. So far, actually on Friday, I presented the seminar of my thesis, which means that I had to like scramble and put together a bunch of figures and really just make sure that I have everything focused and what I was planning to do. And so now I am having a much easier time actually going through everything because I know what the story I want to tell is. Before that, I was kind of just like generating new figures and generating instead of actually focusing on one thing. So what I'm working on today is kind of putting that all together. And right now I'm working on the introduction. Specifically, I'm reworking it because I had what was going to be my thesis. And then in the past like week or two, I was like, what if I like expand that and just make it a million times harder for myself? Yeah, good idea. So that's exactly what I did. And I ended up adding like a whole other section and basically completely changing the point of my thesis, which is ridiculous to do in like 2 weeks from the due date. But it was okay for me just because basically everything I'm doing is computer based. So it worked out, but you know, it wouldn't have worked if I was just doing wet lab stuff. Also, the way that I've been working on this is kind of in pieces. So when I was first starting to write my thesis, I was kind of imagining sitting down, writing the entire introduction, finishing, moving on, writing the entire materials and methods, moving on. But what I've found a lot easier, or like what I have been doing, is kind of like writing everything in pieces. So I'll write like part of the introduction, and I'll be like, oh, that requires this material and method, and I'll go write that. Then I'll be like, that led to these results, and I'll put that in. So like I kind of just like am doing things randomly, which works in terms of like getting everything I want down, but it's also I kind of find it like kind of confusing, as you guys can probably imagine, because there's no part that's like really working on one section. Like there's no part that's actually done. So as you can probably imagine, it's kind of confusing because there's no part that's completely done at once. So that's like something I'm trying to fix and like trying to make a little easier to work with, but yeah, that's how I've been finishing it so far. Anyways, this is mainly gonna be a study with me type thing.
Just a minute. Dear, I'll never catch him while I'm this small. Why, curious butterflies.
You mean bread and butterflies?
Oh yes, of course.